The anime opens with a lot of people saying goodbye to their princess. On top of the hill, as the princess's family watches her go. Her mom remembered grandma's last words, to let the princess leave. The father then asks his wife why she didn't say goodbye to her daughter. However, his wife is not concerned as she believes her daughter will return soon. But then they remembered that grandma said that she will find a brand new world out there. Moving on to the next scene, showing two kids, Kuga Fumio and Kuga Maki, and their brother, Kuga Ichirou, who is attending their father's funeral. Maki is concerned about their future, which makes Ichirou determined to find the best solution for all of them. Moments later, Ichirou wakes up and panics over how close his manga deadline is. In the midst of that, it is seen that his brother and sister is having their breakfast. They are being taken care of by their cousin, Chibi. Then when the three of them are delivering breakfast to their brother, they found Ichirou, who is still panicking because of his manga deadline. Because in 2 days, Ichirou must finish 10 papers, but most of his papers are still clean and empty. Feeling that their brother is overworking, they told him not to push himself too much. Ichirou then remembers his manga debut and becoming a manga artist after graduating from junior high school. However, after the death of their father, he decides to focus on the manga business and live by his manga's royalty and leftover money his father had left him with for rent. He is determined to make a success out of it so he can give his brother and sister proper education. Not long after that, his editor, Masahiro Morikuni, phones and tells him that he has found a new assistant for Ichirou. Excited after hearing that, Maki then pulls out colored chopsticks to predict Ichirou's future. However, the chopstick that appeared was colorless. As three of them leaves, Chibi asks Maki what does a colorless chopstick meant. She said it means Ichirou's future could be colorless or empty, just as his empty manga papers. Ichirou then leaves the house to pick up his new assistant. As he arrives at the location, Ichirou found a blonde girl standing with an umbrella. He then approaches her. He is quite surprised how beautiful she is. The blonde girl is indeed his new assistant. Her name is Goshiki Shiori. As they arrived home, Ichirou brings her to his workplace and gives her some of his copies and his current manga storyboard. He then borrows Shiori his hoodie so her clothes won't get dirty by ink. After that, Ichirou then teaches her how to do basic thickening and background work on the drawings. Ichirou is surprised on how good Shiori's drawing skills are. Ichirou thought that Shiori must have had a lot of experience as an assistant, but she tells him it's her first time. He is even more surprised to know that Shiori learned how to draw by a shoujo manga. Ichirou is really happy because how efficient Shiori is to finish a lot of work in a small amount of time. He might just finish the work in time. As Maki and Fumio arrives home, they are super excited to find such a beautiful girl working with Ichirou. But seeing the girl is already working on her first day, Maki scolded her brother because he hasn't even showed Shiori around. Maki then takes Shiori around the house starting from the communal area until Shiori's room. After that, Maki asked Ichirou to have his dinner. He then wonders where Shiori is. Maki tells him that she went to eat alone in her room. Maki suspects Shiori might be an alien or a little cat in disguise. But Maki hopes that Shiori would keep working with Ichirou. Later in the night, Maki and Fumio ran into Shiori, who is making tea. Before returning to her workplace, Maki asks her to have enough rest and tells her that Ichirou is not good at relying on other people and he has been working really hard, even so far as pushing himself too much for the sake of her and Fumio. As Shiori goes back to work, she asks Ichirou to listen as she tells more about herself. She has never read any manga before until she was 19 years old. She started to read them when she knew her grandma liked and collected a lot of mangas. The funny thing is, Ichirou's manga is among one of the many mangas that grandma collected. Apparently the beginning of her ambitions was Ichirou's manga. After a lot of talking, both of them sleep on their own rooms. Few hours later, they wake up and immediately start to work again. Ichirou then asks Shiori to rest for a while, but she refuses, saying she can still continue. But suddenly, Ichirou panics as one of his papers for the manuscript is missing. He looks for them. He eventually found it, but it was still full of soft sketches. Shiori then offers herself to help Ichirou. but he doesn't want to put her through more work as she already has. But he is also worried, as if he do it all by himself, he might not make it in time. She then reminds him that, as his assistant, she is here to assist him. Both of them then starts working whole night long. They finished it. Both of them fell asleep on the floor. Not long after falling asleep, Ichirou wakes up to Shiori still sleeping, but he noticed something sharp sticking out Shiori. He thought it was a pen, so he grabbed it immediately. However, after finding himself somewhat in space, she is really angry as she tells him now he is bonded with her. Which means Ichirou and Shiori has made an eternal love bond that cannot be broken. She then tells him that where she is from, what Ichirou just did can only be done by someone who is already married. But Ichirou explained that he saw something sharp on her body, which is the reason why he was concerned and went to remove it. Both of them then apologizes for overreacting. After some conversation, she then tells him that what he did was kind of beautiful because both of them has accepted each other. Confused on what is going on, he then asks who she really was. Apparently Shiori is a princess from the Star People. After hearing that, he thought that she is just joking around, but she is really serious as she wants to start a relationship with him. Starting from being a friend,